the city manager to provide them and our community with a seasoned leader who can make the changes necessary to correct the deficiencies and help restore the department's image as an agency that has been viewed as a model by many within the law enforcement community. Major Robert Onzueto with the Orange County Sheriff's Office joins me today and has been appointed Interim Chief of Police due to his vast experience with the Sheriff's Office and his time with the Orlando Police Department. I want to thank Sheriff John Mina for his support and for allowing Interim Chief Onzueto and additional personnel from the Sheriff's Office to assist KPD. The additional personnel from the Sheriff's Office will be assigned to lead the criminal and administrative inquiry into the 11 officers. The decision to seek assistance from the Orange County Sheriff's Office was based on two main factors. First, they are the largest law enforcement agency in Central Florida with the experience and personnel available to effectively address the issues that face our department. Second, we felt it important to partner with an agency outside of Osceola County to add a layer of impartiality to ensure that those either leading the department or the investigation against the officers would not have ties to the immediate law enforcement community within our county. Interim Chief Onzueto has been tasked with performing an extensive and comprehensive review of the department with a primary focus on the following areas. First, leadership. He'll be evaluating the command staff knowledge, experience, and skill set to ensure a trustworthy and competent law enforcement professionals lead this department. Two, accountability. He'll be identifying and implementing methods and tactics to enforce accountability and transparency at all levels within the organization, including those within senior staff command positions. Also, he will be ensuring a thorough and fair review of response to resistance incidents, holding officers accountable for excessive use of force. Three, we'll be looking at policies. We'll be examining those policies. We'll be looking to change some of them and create new policies to provide better guidance to officers in various situations, including response to resistance incidents, standards for deciding whether to begin a criminal investigation following a response to resistance, and clearly assigning responsibility to someone for reporting Brady violations to the State Attorney's Office and officers who fail to maintain good moral character to the Criminal Justice and Standards Commission. Fourth, he will be continuing to perform a personnel and resource analysis and make necessary personnel reassignments to ensure the department can perform its legally required duties effectively, promptly, and in accordance with state law. And finally, he'll be looking at training within our department. He'll be implementing and carrying out training that's recommended by the grand jury in the presentment, including training on crisis management, interacting with citizens who may be experiencing a mental health crisis, the duty to intervene, and search and seizure law, including warrantless entry into residences. I want to take this opportunity to reaffirm the City of Kissimmee's commitment to addressing these issues transparently and thoroughly. We recognize the need for change, and today's release of the presentment and the announcement of actions we are already implementing marks a crucial step in that process. The actions that we've taken are not just a response to past failures, but a clear path forward towards restoring trust within our community, and we thank the grand jury for their hard work and their recommendations. With that, I am honored to introduce to you our Interim Chief, Robert Onzueto, who will provide further details on his immediate priorities and vision for the department moving forward.
Thank you, sir. I am honored to step into this role in such a critical moment for the City of Kissimmee and our police department. I am fully committed to moving forward with purpose and dedication. I want to begin by saying I have the utmost respect for the dedicated men and women who serve our community with steadfast commitment every day. They are the backbone of this department, working tirelessly to keep our community safe. They deserve strong, principled leadership that not only supports them in their mission, but also guides them and upholding the highest standards of our profession. Our focus now is on building a culture that meets and exceeds our community's expectations. This means going beyond what is required, striving to ensure every policy, standard, and action aligns with our commitment to fairness, transparency, and respect for all the people we serve. I've already tasked my staff to implement refresher training on all sworn on crisis management, search and seizure, and investigative procedures. Furthermore, I've already made changes on day one to revamp our internal affairs section. Every decision we make and every step we take forward must be grounded in our promise to serve Kissimmee with honesty and professionalism. My goals are clear: to equip our officers with the resources and training they need to perform their duties safely and effectively, to set and uphold high standards of conduct, and to foster a work environment where accountability is viewed not simply as a requirement, but embraced as a shared value across the agency. To our community, I want you to know that we are committing to restoring and earning your trust daily. Together, we can build a department that truly reflects the best of this community and serves as an example of excellence in law enforcement. Thank you, and we'll take some questions.
Seeing the report, I mean, it's a 35-page report, seeing the body camera video, which I know you have probably seen, I know people are upset and they feel like they don't trust the police department. What is your message to them?
Our message is changes have been made, and the community expects changes. And we've made those changes with the resignation of Chief Holland and for the city manager to ask me to step in to implement changes.
What goes through your mind when you see this body camera video? I know also 11 employees here at the police department lied about their statements.
It's troubling. The video is troubling, but this is day 2 for me. Let me digest everything and implement whatever changes are necessary.
And what about those officers that we learned today, still employed with the Kissimmee Police Department, that lied during interviews and testimony before the grand jury, which they say raised serious concerns with the department's credibility?
Correct. I understand that. And that's why we're bringing in the Orange County Sheriff's Office, a separate entity agency, to come in and do the full investigation. Start with to look at it to see if there's criminal charges, and then go to the administrative side.
Sir, can I ask you a question? Could you step up to the...
Yes.
So, when you read this investigation from the grand jury, what was your one-word response?
Shocked. Absolutely shocked. It's something that we don't expect to occur. If you think about how law enforcement agencies are regulated by state agencies, by the various standards commissions that are out there, you expect that there's checks and balances in place to ensure that these things don't happen. And obviously, in our situation, that didn't occur. And it's why we took the drastic step to bring in an outside agency with the experience to look at everything, personnel, policies, our system of checks and balances, to make sure that going forward we've got a really good set of standards in place that we can prevent this from happening again in the future.
Does it make you sick to your stomach to know it got this far?
I'm sorry?
Does it make you sick to your stomach to know it got this far?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's as the chief said, it's a troubling situation, and we're doing what we can to ensure that it does not happen again. And our organization is suited in the future towards not allowing these types of things to occur.
We know that citizens who are afraid that other investigations were also tainted. Will there be investigations into all the past situations that may have been tainted?
Ma'am, we're going to look at that. Right now, I'm trying to, like I said, digest this case, and we will make changes as necessary. But it's going to take a little bit of time to digest all those cases, and I can tell you that I've already tasked my staff to give me copies of everything so I can review every single case that came into question.
Are knee spikes within department policy?
We'll go to you, and then we'll go back to you. Say that again, I'm sorry.
Are knee spikes within department policy? Because I know it happened twice, plus 7 taser cycles.
Yes, knee spikes are part of our use of force or response to resistance continuum, but to knee spike somebody in the face, there has to be it has to reach a level where you feel that your life is in danger. And obviously, that was not at that point.
Chief,
Yes,
how do you
ma'am.
get to the root cause of this culture of covering up? How long do you think that's going to take to correct?
That's a great question, but we're starting today. We're starting actually yesterday when I came in, and we are making changes immediately. And my goal, and it's not a goal, it's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to meet with every single member of our agency and just tell them what I expect and what they expect from me.
What was the environment in the room when you spoke to officers yesterday about taking over, about this change that's going to be happening?
They want to get this past them. They want to go out and do the job and serve the community. And I can tell you that I support them 100% that are out there doing the right things. Do we have some that might not be doing the right things? We're going to learn that in the investigation from the Orange County Sheriff's
What do
Office.
you say to the people who live here who don't have confidence anymore in this police department?
We are making change, and that's what the community expects is change when something like this happens, and that's what we're doing right now.
Any thoughts on why the FDLE didn't come to a different conclusion in their investigation?
I'm sorry, sir, you're going to have to ask the state attorney on that. I can't speak on behalf of FDLE.
You
Mr.
talked
Scott
about
Reed.
Sean Kastner spent 34 days in jail after this incident for a crime that the state doesn't believe he committed. What is this? In all of this, there was still somebody who the state believes was a victim here. What does the city say to him?
Well, at this point, the Kastners have filed a lawsuit against the city, so I can't make any comments with regard to the case at this point.
Dr. Culture, are you going to be willing to go, I'm sure you are, going back pre-Chief Holland, just to see how long this culture, you mentioned culture, how long the culture has been kind of churning away?
That's kind of a tough question because I can only deal with how the culture is today. And what my goal is to change any culture that was mentioned in the presentment. I got the presentment just like everybody else a few hours ago, and it's 30, I think, 4 pages. So I have to look at that, review that, but some of the things that were mentioned in that presentment are troubling, and I need to correct that, and that's my job, and that's what I plan on doing.
Back past Chief Holland, if that's something that comes up in the investigation?
I will look at everything. I will look at past cases, and like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to look at those 10 cases that were mentioned as well.
Is there a timeline
Timeline on?
On when this may be complete, 100 days, or do you just not know that yet?
I don't know that because if a criminal investigation starts, then the administrative case is told until the criminal is done. As you know, criminal investigations can take a lengthy amount of time.
But that means years before you...
I wouldn't say years, ma'am, but it could take some time.
Can you talk about me how, I mean, you're a law enforcement veteran. How does a code of silence develop within the department?
That's a great question, and you would expect as a leader of an agency that it doesn't occur, and it's my job to make sure that it doesn't occur in the future.
Can you talk about department morale at this point with the?
How do I?
How does, I mean, it's gotta, how does it start? Where does it brew? It's hard to understand.
You know, the buck stops with me, and it stops with the leader of an agency, and you got to make sure that you push that down to your troops. That's not acceptable, and that's what I plan on doing.
How much are the taxpayers going to have to pay to fix all of this? How much is this going to cost to go back and do all these investigations and possibly hire new people?
Answer that.
It's hard to say at this point. We have a mutual aid agreement with the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and we're obligated, of course, to reimburse the sheriff for the employee expenses, payroll, for those that are on loan to us to conduct these investigations, as well as the costs for Chief Anuo. But we have the funding in the budget to take care of that. We've got vacancies now as a result of this situation that we can apply towards those expenses.
One last question, please.
Can you talk about department morale at this point? Like, how are police officers? I mean, they've watched the news and they've seen the report and watched the fight.
We have some outstanding law enforcement officers at the Kissimmee Police Department, and I can tell you they want to move past this. And just me going in there and talking to those officers, that gives them that instant of some type of boost, like things are being done to make a positive change. And I think that's very key in this situation. Okay. All right. Thank you all very much.